Hey everybody, welcome to our bet show for UFC Fight Night Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. If you're new to this channel, we're going to give you a bet for every single fight on the card. As always, please like and subscribe, and me and A-Train will get right into it. Speaking of A-Train, nice to have you back, buddy. Everything all right with your dad? Everything's good?
Everything's looking good with him, and for now, stay positive. And yeah, it's good to be back. I missed doing the podcast last time, so still looked at the fights, something to take your mind off the whole hospital stuff, right? So yeah, still had a lot of time to look at some fights, guys. So let's get on with it.
All right, good to have you back. All right, let's get into it. First fight of the night, we got Montana De La Rosa versus JJ Aldrich. As of right now, the odds have flipped. Aldrich opened the favorite. Right now, she's the underdog. Aldrich is plus 125, De La Rosa minus 150. I think the odds are correct this time. I think De La Rosa is the rightful favorite, I believe. I like her over 1.5 rounds. You get plus 100. I think that's as good as you're going to get here for me. So give me De La Rosa over 1.5 for the plus 100. What do you like?
Well, I think De La Rosa should win here. I was looking at some tape on her. She's taken down pretty much every opponent she's ever had except for Carla Esparza and Tatiana Suarez. That's not too bad. That's not too shabby. And I think she should pressure JJ a little bit here and get her down. She'll get her down. Like everyone's like, "Oh, JJ's grappling is it's not bad. It's getting better, but it really it's not. It's just not it's not up to snuff." And Montana has the dog in her, right? She'll come right after her. I don't think this is a technique thing. I think she just outworks Aldrich to a unanimous decision, plus 130. But there's going to be a lot of downtime on the ground, so plus 500 isn't a bad look for the submission either, because she's not knocking her out. So submission or decision is what I like for Montana for sure, though. I think she's good on the money line, though. Minus 150 is pretty stick. So
All right, there you have it. Next fight of the night, we got Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Aoriqileng. The odds have not moved on this fight, and I think it's because there's zero confidence in either of them. They're both sitting minus 110. And you know what? This is probably a straight up pass for me. I am going to choose Munoz Jr., but with not a whole lot of confidence. I hated his last fight. I think Aoriqileng probably is the more powerful puncher. So I mean, he's the better striker, I guess. But I think Munoz Jr. might be able to out grapple him here. I don't know. I won't be betting this fight anyways. For the purpose, I'll pick Munoz Jr. No confidence. I don't really like anything. I wouldn't be betting props. If you're confident on one of them, it's already minus 110. It's a pick 'em. What do you think?
I feel like Iori only gets in trouble when the guy on the other side is actually a good puncher. Munoz Jr. is a pitter patter puncher at best. I mean, Zahabi has his faults, but the one thing he can do is he's a pinpoint striker. And every time Maori has lost, it's been to someone that finds his chin. So I think Johnny Munoz Jr. and this fight is stupid, to be honest with you. I'm not confident in anything, but I think Iori can like bully him because he's not afraid of the power coming back at him, right? So Iori by decision. I just don't see the KO. I see the decision, but Iori straight up. If I had to pick someone, I might throw this on something crazy, but pretty much stay away from this. Oh, the overs are good too, though. I mean, over 1.5 is minus 205. I don't really think this thing finishes early. The only time, I already finished early last time. You really screwed my ticket, but
A quick punch.
usually, yeah, but usually he's durable, right? More times than not. So I'm not gonna let one fight sway my mind.
Fair enough. Next fight of the night, we got Kanako Murata versus Vanessa Demopoulos. I mean, I think Murata wins by being the better wrestler here. I think she's the one on top. I think Vanessa has been held down before, but I mean, minus 350 is crazy. Don't like the odds. I'm rooting for Vanessa. I like Vanessa. I just don't think she's going to be throwing up a submission from her back. I'd be happy to see Vanessa win. Not really a fan of Murata at all. But again, I'm not even going to be playing it. I don't like the odds. I don't like any of the props. I don't really like anything here. Give me Murata to win. I'm rooting for Vanessa. It's a no play for me. What about you?
Well, I can see why Murata's the favorite. She's this wrestler that holds people down. Uh, that's what she does. But like for minus 350, I was telling you this before, like she literally has one path of victory. Like if you ask yourself, is Murata the better striker? I don't, maybe they're tied. But Vanessa, like maybe though. But Vanessa, like at least in her defense, she comes forward. It's not the greatest of striking, but like I watch those Murata fights. She's not coming forward. She's hesitant to strike. She's always shooting. Listen, Vanessa wants this fight on the ground, and this fight will end up on the ground, and that's where she's most dangerous. Murata just got her hand broken from a fucking armbar by Verna Jandiroba. That's why she's been out. She only got to the end of that second round just a sheer like will because she's not going to give up. She's susceptible to the stripper guard, so she's susceptible to it. So I'm not laying minus 350. Not a chance in hell am I laying minus 350. I'll take Vanessa. She's either gonna take her straight up as an underdog, minus plus 275, or I'll take her by submission. Like the Murata decision doesn't even look good. So yeah, I'm not gonna lay minus 350 on a chick that's been out for 2 years, man. Come back from a broken hand from an armbar against another BJJ black belt. So it's my take.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said. Next fight of the night, we got Nate Maness versus Matthias Mendonca. Honestly, I think this is going to be one of the funnest under the radar fights on the card. I think both of these guys love a brawl. They're both willing to throw down, and I kind of think that's what's going to happen here. I think we're going to have a bit of a firefight. The general consensus is that Mendonca is the harder hitter and that he's probably going to score a knockout. But honestly, one of these times, his recklessness is going to catch up with him, and he's going to get cracked himself. So honestly, nothing would shock me here. I did bet Mendonca earlier in the week when his odds were much better. Right now, he's grown to a minus 250. I don't love him at minus 250. There's just too many things I can see. Can I see an early knockout? Yep, either way. Or is there a world where this is just a 3-round striking match? Like I can see that too. I don't know. There's no play I love here. I think this is just going to be I'm going to enjoy this fight. While many others don't even really know who these guys are, I do. And I think it's a fun fight. I'm just not sure that I'm going to be putting money on it. What do you think?
Maness, he's a weird guy. I mean, he wins when he's not supposed to, gets knocked the fuck out when he is supposed to. But I mean, not you know what I mean. But it's just like, what's that fight? Was it Gravely where he was he came back in the second round, beat Tony Gravely? Said first round he broke his jaw, like sitting on the ground. His corner picks him up, drags him to. Is that even like commission worthy? Like I don't even think you're allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to pick the guy. He has to get up on his own by the rules.
Right. So like I rewatched that last. Yeah, it's like they picked him up, moved him over, and he finishes Gravely out of nowhere. I had Gravely because I thought Gravely was gonna rock him soccer on that, which he did to an extent, but like I'm gonna pass because I can't put minus 250 on Mendonca. Like he doesn't wow me. And Nathan Maness or whatever you want to call him. I mean, if I was gonna bet this fight, I'd take the dog, but I know the dog doesn't really have a shot here, so I'm gonna pass it. Purposes of this show, I like Mendonca. I like the unders. Fight doesn't go to decision, minus 180. That's probably the best bet for me.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a KO. I think it should be. All right, next fight of the night, we got Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbita. I already made it well known in the video earlier in the week. To me, Carolina, however you want to say her first name, maybe I'm crazy, but I think she's the lock of the card for me. Like I have more confidence in her than I do in Grant Dawson. I swear to God, I just do. I think there's levels here, and I think she's better everywhere. I think literally anywhere the fight goes, she's the superior fighter. Yes, she's kind of a point fighter, or I shouldn't say kind of. She is a point fighter. And anytime you go to the judges, you're gonna be scared, especially when you got Belbita, who's like a fan favorite. It seems like the UFC almost like wants her to win. I don't know, maybe it's her look. I don't know what it is. So you're always scared that the judges are going to fuck this up. But I see her dominating this fight. I think she's the next level up. I don't even think this is competitive. And the odds have even tightened. She's a minus 160. So for me, she's my lock of the card. I'm very confident in her. That's just my take. Maybe I'm crazy. What do you think?
Well, they're both supposedly strikers, but like I think Carolina has the better striking. I think she's more crisp. I think she handles distance better. Um, but the kicker is Belbita has zero ground game. And listen. Her record's a fraud, man. I swear she beat Maria Oliveira 1-3 in the US, Hannah Goldie 1-4 in the US. I can just ream off names. Liana Jojua 1-3 in the UFC. Like these are the people she's beating. Like or and she lost that fight where she was clearly gonna win. I think it was either Jojua, I think it was Jojua tapped her out because she went to take her down like an idiot, right? So
I thought she lost her last fight. I swear to God, like it was close.
listen, I thought she let Hannah Goldie win a round off of her. The record's fraud. The record is so fraud. Carolina, faced the best of the best in this division. She had a title run, lost 5 in a row, coming back strong. Way better fighter, way better trained, way better striker. And the icing on the top of the cake is that she's the way better grappler. Like too many paths to victory, minus 160. I hate using the word lock, but it's high up there on my card. I like it. I'm gonna probably parlay it as much as I like some other fights later on in this. So I liked her by decision. Unfortunately, she is a pitter-patter puncher, doesn't really, but there is a finish on the ground. So like the submission is the only other play that's in play, not a KO.
Yep. All right. Moving on. We got the last prelim of the night. We got Felipe Lins versus Jan Cutelaba. Right now, the odds are Lins plus 125, Cutelaba minus 150. Scary because Cutelaba, you just never know what you're going to get. This guy is the definition, kill or be killed. He's almost like I don't want to say Vanderlei Silva because he actually likes to grapple, but like he's just kind of that hyped up fucking ball of energy that you don't know what the hell you're going to get out of the guy.
Vanderlei had better fight IQ though.
I love Vanderlei, sure. So yeah. But he's gonna go for it. So I think whoever you're on here, it's a finish. This fight is not going the distance. Somebody is finishing the other. For me, I just can't trust either of them. I can't trust Cutelaba. So give me Lins by inside the distance plus 200. Give me that. Give me Lins inside the distance plus 200. That's my play. What do you think?
Okay, so Cutelaba has about 3 minutes of hardcoreism in the first round. If Philippe Lins can survive that 3 minutes of gargantuanism in the first round, he might be able to pull off the win. I'm not saying that he is going to pull off the win. So like, how many first rounds has Ion Cutelaba won in his UFC career? A lot of first rounds, right? So the play might be here to play Lins after first round, because what happens to Ion Cutelaba later on in the fight? He like super gasses out, gets pushed over all over the place. What does Lins do? Well, pushes you up against the fence, holds you there. I mean, in a crazy world, I could even see a Felipe Lins decision in an absolute crazy world after this, because after Cutelaba, was it Cutelaba and Devin Clark, and then that went to decision? Like, how the hell did that go to decision, anyways? But then Ion Cutelaba and Justin Jacoby goes to decision after he mauls Jacoby in the first round, right? I mean, he's got the most. Who's the other guy that I always say about questionable fight IQ? It's whatever. Ion Cutelaba's on my Kevin Holland's card. This guy's got worse fight IQ than Kevin Holland. It's just off. How many times did he take Ryan Spann down in that fight and then he stuck his head into a guillotine? He took down Johnny Walker, let him get up, and then just got tapped out on the ground. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna bet Felipe Lins after the first round. After he gets bitch slapped around for 3 minutes, I'm gonna take the plus, what is it, plus 125, you said? I'm hoping to get some plus 300 and just take him live. I won't touch this fight before that.
Hey, I hear you. It's there's yeah, there's no confidence really. Moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. First fight of the main card, we got Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez. This is another fight. No confidence whatsoever. Hernandez has all the ability in the world, physical specimen, hits like a truck, big guy, looks athletic as hell, but he fades, like he breaks. I don't know if his chin's glass or his stamina is just shot because he's so muscular. He's just a guy that like he can probably beat anyone on any given night, and he can lose to anyone on any given night. I mean, this is a guy who knocked Dariush dead, friggin'. Like he has great, he has glimpses of greatness. Just, I don't know. I can't trust him to take a shot, and I don't think he's going to knock Bill out. So like, I don't know. Can he win a decision? Sure. Could he knock him out? Sure. He can knock out anyone, but I don't think he's going to knock Bill out. So I expect Alex to look great early on and just slowly start to fade, and Bill slowly starts to catch up and take over. I feel like I like the overs, and I feel like I like Bill to catch up and pass him at some point. But again, no confidence. Don't love any of the props. I'm going to take Bill, but again, no confidence, and I'm not sure I'm going to be playing at all. Anything you like here?
Yeah, I like Hernandez actually. So I feel like he's been. I think he moved down. He moved down in a weight class, and his last fight against Jim Miller was really telling because he went a full 3 rounds. I know he was on that 2-fight losing streak, but he went a full 3 rounds with Jim Miller, who was a tough cookie, and he actually didn't like miss a beat in those 3 rounds. His striking was the best I've ever seen it at, plus 108, 110 significant strikes, somewhere around there, which is more than I've ever seen from him. And he definitely lands with more power, but it's the takedowns he mixed in there, right? So I was looking at it earlier. If you look through Bill Algeo's record, he's been taken down in every single UFC fight that he's ever been in. So like even Spike Carlisle, who stinks, took him down 5 times, right? Alex Hernandez is better than half of those guys. You know what I mean? And he actually does, like you said, has all the talent in the world. And I think Bill, where does he do not so well in is when he's like bullied, pushed up against stuff. Like Hernandez is going to bully this guy because Bill's soft when it comes to like actual strength. You know what I mean? Heart, he's got heart for days. Durability, he's got durability for days. So I like Hernandez plus 100. I like Hernandez by decision plus 300 based on wrestling. That's my take on it. I actually like this fight for Hernandez.
Yeah, and like you said, Bill's tough. I don't think Alex is scoring one of these quick, explosive knockouts here. I don't think that's happening.
No, but Alex himself, you could see a more measured approach in the latter part of his career. He's not going for it like he used to because maybe he blows his load too quick. And he's at a better camp these days too, right? So everything moves. It's like a guy later on. It's like when I talk about Dawson, right? So it's pretty much I see the same trajectory on the careers, except obviously Dawson has got more at this point than Hernandez, but because he hasn't lost, but pretty much. So anyway, we'll talk about that after. I like Hernandez a lot actually as my underdog shot of the night.
Cool, sounds good. Next fight of the main card, we got our striking banger. We got Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn. Drew Dober's coming in at minus 450, which is absolutely insane. And we got Glenn coming in at plus 350. Now, listen, I do think Dober wins, and I do think he wins by knockout because these guys are going to stand and bang. And Ricky Glenn has been knocked out before. I mean, they've both been knocked out before, but to me, that's the frightening thing is Dober has taken so much punishment that eventually he ain't going to be able to take a punch. And I actually said it, his last loss, if you look back at our videos, I said, guys, everyone talks about how good his chin is, but he actually gets dropped in every single fight. He just seems to get through it and then land his shot. Clearly, he hits like a truck. He has fight-ending power, but he does get dropped a lot. So nothing would shock me here. A Glenn knockout would not shock me. Safe bet, doesn't go the distance. Give me Dober by knockout, but nothing surprises me here and expect a knockout. What do you think?
I expect a knockout. I don't really know what to say about this. The minus 450 stinks. It's way too hard. But Ricky Glenn looked like crap against Christos Giagos. The question when Ricky Glenn is like, is his heart always into it? Like he's still a plumber, I think, right? So like,
If you're fighting Drew Dober, you know there's a ball of fire coming at you. You better be ready.
I don't know about Ricky Glenn. He's pretty tough. You know he's good, but both chins. Both chins. We what you said about Drew Dober shin is completely correct. Because lately it's looked off a lot more off than usual, starting from the Terrence McKinney fight all the way up to his last fight. But Ricky Glenn hasn't looked any better chin wise. Like getting knocked out by Giagos. Giagos is a one dimensional fighter. Like he's got like maybe a round of cardio in him, and you let yourself get into that problem, Ricky Glenn. You got yourself knocked out. Why is your face there? Like he didn't look good there, so. I don't expect him to look any better here, but the odds are off. So I'll probably have Dober in some form, but I don't like it per se.
I think you got to play inside the distance. You're not playing minus 450.
Yeah, what is inside the distance anyway?
I think minus 150. Dober knockout. He's not going to
Yeah.
submit him.
What about Dober KO submission?
He ain't submitting him. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Dober go for a submission?
It's minus 180 anyway, so there's no point. Just take the damn knockout.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got the featured fight. We got Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley. We got Buckley coming in at minus 170, Morono plus 140. This is another fight. I could see either of them getting knocked out, to be honest. Give me Buckley by knockout, but Morono, if Buckley doesn't get him out of there fairly quickly, Morono has some sneaky counters where you could see him catch him later. And like Buckley doesn't take his punishment the greatest either. That being said, since Buckley's dropped to welterweight, he hasn't been chinned yet. He's looked a lot better since dropping. He has progressively got better every single fight. So that's why I'm going to side with Buckley. Again, nothing would shock me here, though. Either of them getting knocked out would not be surprising. But I'll take Buckley. Buckley KO's coming in at plus 120 if you want the extra value. So Buckley minus 170, Buckley KO plus 120. Those are the only plays for me. What do you think?
I wish Alex is a little higher because I like him, but I don't like him, right? So it's like it's that catch 22 there. It's not that Buckley gets chinned. Buckley starts off really well and then starts to taper off. He gets to that wrestling and then he tries to take you down like that Razak Hassan. I can't say his goddamn name. Al Razak Hassan, that same sort of fight. Everyone thought that fight was gonna end in a fucking KO, but he became D1 Buckley, starting taking this guy down. So because I feel like he slows down too, right? Morono's no spring chicken either. Doesn't he's not fresh all the way through. He gets hit a lot, so that's where Buckley probably wins this fight. But like, if he tires out and sticks his head in the wrong spot, Morono can pull that guillotine. He's done it so many times, right? So Buckley wins more than likely. Buckley by KO, or Morono by submission if you feel sneaky. I think it could happen, man. It could happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. We got the co-main event. We got Joe Pyfer versus your buddy there, Abdul Razak Alhassan.
Oh shit.
These odds are insane. You got Pyfer minus 450. And I mean, I know he's looked great. He's got that knockout last fight over Mearshart. But sometimes he's low volume, man. Like, so do you bet on the knockout? The knockout's coming in at minus 138. Money line's minus 450. I don't know. Alhassan coming back at plus 350. I mean, I think Pyfer wins. The question is he going to be tentative? Because you know what? Abdul is a big, strong guy. So is he really going to want to get in a firefight, or is he going to just be cool to take his time and kind of win a decision or win you know what I mean? Like, is he going to respect him and not go for that knockout and risk getting knocked out himself? I don't know what Pyfer's going to show up here, but he has been low volume before. I ain't playing him at minus 450. So if I'm going to sprinkle like a parlay ticket of all knockouts or something like that, I could see myself maybe playing that. But I just don't love these odds here. What do you think?
I think Joe Pyfer wins by knockout. He beat Mearshart by knockout. he actually took a grappling match with Mearshart right after that and won that as well, which was very surprising. He's very well rounded, and people don't realize how good of a wrestler he actually is. Right, won't matter here too much. Won't matter here too much. Alhassan, he's so low. He's low volume too, though. That's the thing, right? I think Pyfer just got to watch his mind, his P's and Q's, not get caught with a check left, check right, something. And he's the better fighter. You said he's low volume, which he is, but he isn't. Alhassan could be less volume than him. Alhassan's also 38, a notorious gasser, a notorious guy that misses weight. So I like Pyfer. I don't like the odds.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. I'm not playing minus 450. So if you're playing it, you have to go for the knockout, and you're just worried that, or at least I'm worried that sometimes he doesn't throw a whole lot. I mean, that's just that's my initial thoughts, anyways. Moving on, we got the main event of the evening. We got Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. I absolutely hate this fight. Reason being, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Bobby Green said he was going to retire after the Tony Ferguson fight. And now he comes back to fight Grant Dawson, this rising contender, and it just doesn't make sense. For me, Bobby Green should be in fun, exciting, like name fights or whatever. Like, he doesn't need to be fighting the young guys, but you can find him some, put him in with Mike Chandler for all I care. Put him in with another, you know what I mean? Just to me, it's just a strange fight. It doesn't make sense to me. Bobby Green's not going to be going for no title shots or anything. It's a strange matchup. But clearly we got a grappler versus a striker here. Dawson wants to take him down, wants to submit him. Bobby Green wants to keep it standing and box him up with the volume. Dawson 8-0 in the UFC. He's looked pretty good. He has gassed a few times in the past, but he looks like his gas tank is getting a bit better. He didn't look too gassed there against Ismagulov last fight. So he looks to be correcting that. He looks to be putting his IQ together. He's pretty boring. I don't like the guy. I'm rooting for Bobby Green. It's just hard to see Bobby Green winning this fight. I mean, Bobby Green on paper does have decent wrestling credentials. I mean, like, he's not some terrible wrestler who should be taken down at will and tapped, but I'm just not so sure he's going to be able to keep it standing long enough to do anything. So give me Dawson. He's coming in at minus 450. Give me Dawson over 1.5, comes back at minus 125. I think that's the best odds you're going to get on Dawson. Over 1.5, minus 125. Give me that. Meanwhile, I'll be rooting for the Bobby Green upset. What do you think?
Ooh, that's pretty good. Dawson over 1.5.
That's what I thought.
Pretty good. I love Grant Dawson here, and like, I know you don't play us minus 450s, but like, he's shown some dominant wrestling in his last few fights. And you know what? The gas tank's gotten better post Kraus guy. That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe it was Kraus that was holding him back this whole time. Because like, Kraus, who knows if he was even a good coach? Maybe he wasn't coaching this. Maybe he was coaching Grant Dawson so he would, like, like, lose his breath. So like,
you bet some kind of bet.
They can bet. I mean, you can't trust James Krause, bro. You can't trust him with your fighters. The fighters can't trust him. I mean, we're doing a betting show and it's a little bit of an oxymoron, but like, we don't go next time like, hey, Grant, just like lose the fight for us. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you know what I mean? James Krause had like a hand in how those fights were actually run, right? So it's good for his fighters to get away from that guy. And I've noticed a difference in the vitality and the conviction of the way Grant Dawson has started his wrestling. What's his name here? Bobby Green better keep it on the feet, because if it gets to the ground, he's not getting up. He's not going to get up. I don't care how good of a scrambler he is. He just won't get up. He's not that good. Grant Dawson backpacks guys like better than I have seen anybody lately. So Ismagulov, but he never got up either. But Bobby Green, and you might say, oh, he has a good takedown defense and whatever, but like, he's always up against strikers. When's the last time he really went up against a grappler, right? Not really. No grappler with good wrestling. And even a grappler, well, fucking Islam. Yeah, but
he got tapped first round.
Yeah, but the Islam's at a different level. I can't sit here and put Grant Dawson on Islam Makhachev's level. I can say that their games are similar. And if Grant Dawson's wrestling is as good as it is, yeah, he could probably tap him out. And I don't know. Bobby Green looked like a fall guy in that fight, to be honest with you. So I don't know what to take from that fight too much. You took it that he was an inferior opponent that night. There was no chance for him. But in this case, I think he does have a shot, but I don't think he can stop the wrestling. Grant Dawson, the over 1.5 is sweet. I'll probably play that. I even on my decision ticket, I plus 240. Not enough juice for me, man. I was getting +3 or +4. That's enough, but
I mean, 5-round fight. I feel like he is going to tap him. I don't know
yeah,
why.
that's the problem. It's a 3-round fight decision. No fucking no problem. I take a decision in 3 rounds, but in 5, yeah, it gets dicey after guys get to like round 3, 4, right? And how long can you sit on a backpack and like not tap the guy, right? You know what I mean? If this thing is gonna go, there's gonna be a lot of groundwork in this fight. So Grant Dawson over 1.5 is probably what I'll do too. Now that you told me that was the number I was getting, I like that. I really like that.
All right, guys, there you have it. There's our picks for UFC Fight Night, Dawson versus Green. In a minute, we'll just show you a chart, a recap of all our picks, just to refreshen your guys' memories there for what we said. As always, like, subscribe, drop us a comment. Let us know what you agree with or what you disagree with. If there's a certain prop that maybe we didn't talk about that you spot some gold there, let us know, man. We love hearing your guys' picks as well. And we'll see you Sunday because there's another card next weekend. So we'll be back at her. And good luck this weekend, and we'll talk soon.